Hi, welcome. Now I am going to show you how to use a SumProduct function as a SumSQ function. Okay, what is SumSQ function? SumSQ function is nothing but the sum of squares of a list or a set of numbers. Okay, what is sum of squares of numbers? I will show to you. I have the list here that is from about 14 numbers, and I want the squares of each number. Okay, and 49, so I square each element of this list, and finally what I will do is I will have the sum of all the squares. Okay, so this is the sum of squares of this whole list. Okay, so which is 48,862. Okay, this kind of situation arises in our formulas and statistical functions that we need to use sum of squares many times. Okay, Excel provides a function called SumSQ function. Okay, so SumSQ function does the work of getting sum of squares. Okay, how can we use SumSQ function to get the sum of squares? I will show to you. It is SumSQ. Okay, SumSQ, the whole list. Okay, then enter. You will get in one shot itself the sum of squares. This is the answer. Instead of doing manually, if the array list is thousands of numbers, so you can use the SumSQ function to arrive the squares, sum of squares of that list. Okay, now can we use the SumProduct function to arrive the same answer, or can we make a SumProduct function to work like SumSQ? Yes, it is possible. Okay, what we have is here I will explain to you how SumProduct works. SumProduct can get any number of arrays passed into the SumProduct function, and it will do what it will do is it will do the corresponding element multiplication. Okay, and finally it will add all the products. In this case you can see what is the corresponding element multiplication. First element of array 1 into first element of array 2. Okay, this is one product of first elements. Then similarly for the second element of array 1 into second element of array 2. Finally third element of array 1 into third element of array 2. Okay, finally you add together, you will get the sum. Okay, sum of all these products, 49. Okay, we will use SumProduct function for these two arrays. What I am doing here is that I just simply pass the array 1 comma, I simply pass the array 2, close the bracket, you will get the same answer. So SumProduct function gets any number of arrays inside and do the corresponding elements product. Okay, then it will do it for every single row, every single item. It will multiply the corresponding elements in the arrays, and finally it will sum it up. Okay, so we use SumProduct function to get the sum of squares. How can we do that? Okay, I will use SumProduct. Okay, SumProduct. Okay, array 1. Okay, which is the list 1. Okay, so in this case what I am going to do is I am passing the same array 1 twice as a second array, also the same list. So when it does the product of the first element of array 1, which is list 1, and the first element of array 2 is also the list 1, so the same element multiplies twice and it gives a square of each element. Okay, finally when it sums it up, you will get a sum of squares, which is the same answer. Okay, now there comes $1 million question. Okay, when we have SumSQ function, why should we use some product function? Okay, yes, there is a flexibility on some product function. If when you give the list of numbers, okay, and when you do this sum product, sorry, this is a sum of squares. Okay, so when you do the sum of squares, what happens is that this list what you give here in sum squares, it is the sum of squares alone. But in some product function you have the flexibility of adding some more arrays or conditions as a array. Okay, if you know the sum product function well, you can also send some other arrays, and that arrays can be a condition also. So you can use a condition to check or eliminate some of the elements you don't want to include in the sum of squares. You can very well do that. Okay, but in sum of squares function, when you send the list, all the elements are got squared and sum it up. But in sum of sum product function, you have the flexibility. If you have a specific need to exclude some of the elements, you can do that. Okay, okay, this way this function is very interesting. I will show you by one example here. Okay, what will I want to do the sum of squares. Okay, but I don't want to include this element 9. Okay, okay, my scope for this video is not to explain this, but for interesting part of it, I will just explain to you. Okay, what I am going to do is I will do this sum of sum product. Okay, and I just send the list. Okay, and also this will give me the square. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I don't want this element to be included. Okay, all single digit elements I don't want to include in my sum of squares. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I just put condition here. This value, okay, is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, only for double digit and more than double digit I want to do the square. Single digit, okay, I don't want to include. Okay, if I add this condition, what happens is that it will check. I am sending this this condition as an array inside my sum product function, so it will check this condition whether true or false. It is true for all except this one. Okay, false. So it is a set of array of true and false. I make that one as 0 and 1, so then what will happen, this will become 0 for this element. So when it does the multiplication, it will make this element 0. Okay, but for other elements it will make 1, so all will present. Okay, you will see here 48853. Interestingly, 9 is, this element is not included. You see, so this kind of flexibility is available. Maybe I will make and elaborate one interesting video on that, how to exclude some of the numbers when you do the squares and cubes. Okay, this is just a starting point. I just show you a hint that how can we exclude some of the numbers in a list. Okay, I hope this video is helpful to you, and it will help you to understand how to use some product function as SumSQ. Okay, if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and God bless you.